Hi, I'm Jeff Farnwell, Director of the MBA program at Rockford College. About 18 months ago, the Rockford Chamber of Commerce set out to make networking easier in Rockford by identifying area people you should know in business. Currently, 41 people have been recognized and celebrated as one of these people. This series of talks held at Rockford College was designed to provide a vehicle for the public to hear from and learn about each of the people you should know. I hope you enjoy this talk.
Rockford College for our People You Should Know Talks. Today it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Samuel Schmitz from Goodwill, Northern Illinois, and he is also a 2011 People You Should Know Award honoree. Goodwill is an organization that makes money by selling donated items. The profit goes to helping people who face barriers finding employment. The agency assists over 3,000 people with barriers annually and has grown to approximately 300 employees with revenues of $7 million through retail operations. Outside of Goodwill, Sam is involved in many organizations, including Alignment Rockford, Rockford Local Development Corporation, and Workforce Investment Board. His talk today is titled Shirley, Nicole, Beth, and Keith in the Dignity of Work. Please help me welcome Mr. Samuel Schmitz.
I know you can hear me. I have to use the microphone for the video. Well, it's a beautiful day, so thank you for taking time out to sit inside and listen to a story I'm going to tell you about Shirley, Nicole, Beth, and Keith, and the dignity of work and what that means. How many people in the room have ever been without a job? It's no fun, is it? Well, compound that with the concept of not only not having a job, but having a barrier to employment. I'm going to tell you a little story about Shirley and Nicole and Beth and Keith and what Goodwill has done to give them the opportunity to experience the dignity of work. I can tell you, I was, my early career, I had a teaching job overseas, and I came back to the United States. And I was without a job, and it literally almost drove me nuts. So I went out and got a job at a Pizza Hut making pizza. That was the good news, the dignity of work. The bad news was we all got a free pizza at the end of our shift, so I put on about 15 pounds. So that's another story for another day. But anyway, I'll introduce Shirley, Nicole, Beth, and Keith at the end of the presentation. But for now, just in your mind's eye, pick one of those people and imagine who they are, what barriers they might have, and what they're doing to experience the dignity of work. What I'll do is I'll give you a little bit of history of Goodwill, and then I'll get into how we help Shirley and Nicole and Beth and Keith and countless other, well, not countless, but a lot of other people in our territory. Goodwill Industries International is an organization of some 200 some odd different territories throughout the United States and Canada. We happen to operate in northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. Our boundaries are designated there in red, and I'll come back to this. But Goodwill was founded by a Methodist minister back in the early 1900s. He maybe wasn't politically correct at the time. He liked to help people that are downtrodden. That's a term we probably don't use today. But he saw the struggles that the immigrants in Boston and some of the people with today, with barriers. And he was able to convince people of more affluent to donate to Goodwill, and these individuals who were the downtrodden were able to repair clothing and other items and either resell those or use them themselves. So it was Reverend Edgar Helms, and while we don't have any religious affiliation today, his words and his spirit is carried out through the multiple Goodwills throughout the country. He talked about the ability to experience the dignity of work, the idea of rather than giving people something for nothing, he recognized the goodwill and stated that we were a chance, not a charity. And so that whole concept is still reflected today throughout the United States and Canada and over 200 territories that we operate in. So it's bigger than me. It's bigger than Goodwill in Northern Illinois. It's a wonderful organization. I've had the opportunity to have 3 or 4 different careers, and I can tell you absolutely without a doubt this is the best job I've ever had. So Wonderful opportunity for me, and I just absolutely love my job. So anyway, we operate, located here in Rockford, obviously, but we have stores in McChesney Park, Beloit, Freeport, and Sterling. Since I've joined Goodwill, we've expanded into DeKalb, Ottawa, McHenry, and Huntley, and in fact, tonight we're going to the Planning Commission in Crystal Lake for approval on a building in Crystal Lake. So that'll be our 10th store. Our revenues are now upwards of 10 million, and so we're growing, and it allows us to do a lot of the things that we do. So what does this all mean, especially to Shirley and Beth and Keith and Nicole? Well, it all starts with you in the room, and it's called donations. And so I brought a prop. You got to have a prop when you give a speech, right? So in here I've got, somebody donated loaded questions. We've got a book entitled America Out of the Ashes. Looks like we've got some 9 West shoes here from a lady, a Coach purse, some frames. I see some dishes down in there, tennis rackets. So really what happens to Nicole and Beth and Keith really starts with a donation. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people, not a lot, but a few people maybe aren't as careful with their slightly donated goods, whether it be clothing or kitchen items or what have you. And so I may donate this coat. Our person in the back room, what we like to call our back room, is like a little factory. Because the sooner our donation attendants and the pricers make a decision on this sport coat, the sooner we make money. So if it's in good condition, we push it out to the store floor, and that's where the thrill of the hunt comes in, because we have thousands of different items every day. None of them are the same. And so that's a big attraction to our shoppers. But again, without the donors, we really don't have anything to sell. So it all starts with you, and I'll thank you in advance for your donations. Janet says she's got a bag in her trunk that she's going to donate this afternoon, so thank you, Janet. But unfortunately, about half of what we receive at the back door through donations is not worthy of the store floor. This coat may have a tear in it, may have a stain. Kitchen items may not be, as clean as they should be. So about half of what is donated doesn't even make it to the store floor. And so we ship it to our warehouse, which is on North River, or Riverside, behind Gustafson's there, between the Clip Breakers and Gustafson's. You go down and back, that's our warehousing operation. And so all those items that are not worthy of the store floor are recycled. And I'll just give you a glimpse of what all that means. Again, this sport coat didn't make it to the store floor. Annually, we recycle over 3 million pounds of textiles. And what happens to those? We sell them, we bundle them up in bales that are probably, as long as this table and about this high, weighing about 2,000 pounds. And we sell those to brokers that bid on the bales of textiles. They're shipped to a recycler, and they either ship to emerging countries overseas, or that whole gaylord could be ground up into fiber and used as insulation, reconstituted into industrial rags and so forth. So we recycle over 3 million pounds. Shoes, again, not every shoe that comes on through the back door is worthy of being sold. We have vendors who, again, buy those for so many pennies on the pound. Books, unbelievable amount of books that are generated and either aren't sold or are not in good condition, again, over 300,000 pounds. Cardboard is a big recycling item for us, over 250,000 pounds of cardboard. Metals, you can see in this photo, maybe that strainer was not in the best of condition, so we do over, you can see maybe a stroller here, we do over 276,000 pounds in metals as well. Computers, we have a program with Dell, who has recycling partners throughout the country. We figured a year or two ago we had received enough computers, and I'm talking about the old monitors from the 90s that weighed 100 pounds, it seemed like. We figured we could fill up the floor of the BM O'Hare Center now, I guess I should say, the old Metro Center, 8 feet tall, with donated computers and monitors and such. So we see ourselves as not only helping people find employment people with barriers, but we're very proud of the fact of what we keep out of the landfill and that we're very green. And that's a constant throughout the Goodwill enterprise throughout the country. But again, the model is pretty basic. It's actually a pretty wonderful business model because we, quote, get the stuff free from people like yourselves, but at the same time, we employ over 300 people. We got to turn on the lights, we got to pay the electricity and the heat and management and so forth. But basically, the items are donated. We process those in our 9 stores throughout northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. And then those fund our job training and placement services that I'll show you a little bit more about. And then hopefully, with our placement staff, people are able to find a job and thus the dignity of work. So last year we served over 5,000 people in northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. We offer, besides the employment and job placement services, we've got a financial education. We trained 190 plus people on how to do budgeting, how to do couponing, some of the basics of just getting your feet on the ground with regards to your financial stability. We have multiple training programs on clerical and administrative office skills. We actually placed 126 people in full-time, full-pay positions. We've got also in our stores, if people need to work off some community service hours, we give them that opportunity in our stores. We have you may have attended, I know Janet's been there, we have a fundraiser called the Diva Fashion Show and Dress Sale. And so we've been able to award 28 scholarships to junior colleges, most notably Rock Valley, of course. But the scholarships go to people who want to advance their education, but one of our prerequisites is that they have to have a barrier to receive our scholarship. And so if you could read some of those letters of thanks that we get from these folks, it'd make you want to get your paycheck or your checkbook out right now. It's very rewarding, and it's a fun thing for us. Also, we offer free tax services throughout our community. Last year we did over 2,000 tax returns, and think, well, that's not a lot, but this is for people of certain income levels. I think the threshold is $57,000 for a family. And a lot of people don't know about the earned income tax credit. And so you'll see people walk out of our offices. They not only got their taxes done free, a lot of times they've avoided the predatory, tax anticipation loans where these folks will say, your return's $800, I can give you $400 today, and people, because they want to see the money, they'll take that and run with it. So people are avoiding that. And then on top of that, we've returned over $2.1 million to our communities. And as I said, we've saved over probably conservatively $200,000 in fees, and that doesn't even take into account the predatory lenders. So those are a few of our programs. Again, back to this dignity of work, our board of directors has asked us to do our mission of job placement and the whole coaching and training aspect of work out into our 9 communities. So we're working, right now we've got 3 programs in Huntley, Freeport, and McHenry. We've worked with different not-for-profits who have worked with people with barriers. And so we brought them into our stores a couple days a week. They get away from their environment. In Huntley, we found a new revenue stream in that we get a lot of donations like baseball cards and individual little Matchbox cars and individual ties and a lot of little things that you really couldn't price. So our participants are actually bagging those and then hanging those in the store. So we'll sell a bag of Matchbox toys for I think it's $1.99. A whole lot of other little things, but again, these people are working, they get a paycheck, gets them out of their environment. In McHenry, pretty much we're working with 2 high schools, Johnsburg High School and East, I think McHenry High, and these are students that have in the high school environment, maybe a little bit older, but it's a nice transition. It gives them a chance to work, maybe build up some confidence and move on to a regular full-time position. In Freeport, our participants are hanging and sizing clothes. And so we just last week opened up a 4th location in Sterling, so we're we're very proud of what we're able to accomplish. And actually this, what did I do? The program in Huntley, we've sold so many of these packages of Matchbox cars and baseball cards that it's surprised us it's at a break even. So we're really happy with that. So I think that is, I guess that's the end of my slides. I thought I had one more, but what I want to do now, if you go back to Shirley and Beth and Keith and Nicole, I want to show you, the numbers are fun, and it kind of maybe doesn't mean that much on a, seeing it on a slide, but I think the video that you're going to see will kind of bring this thing to life. So go back and were you thinking about Shirley or Beth or Keith, and you're going to see what Goodwill has done and all that backroom stuff, all your donations, all the processing, all the recycling, all the training programs kind of culminate with a real life situation in these four individuals. So I hope you enjoy the video. We'll get it up here in just a second.
My name is Shirley Ann Davis, and I like my job very much. And I clean, and I take out the garbage, and I get along with my teammates. I'm happy with them, and they treat me nice, and I just love Goodwill. And they take me, to the baseball game with them, like a team and stuff like that. And I enjoyed that, what they did to me. I work hard through them and stuff. Cause on Kishwaukee, I was so sad, and I called Courtney. I asked Courtney, can she give me a job? And she told me to come on in. And then when she gave me that job, I was so happy, I didn't know what to do.
Goodwill Scholarship Program started with the annual fundraiser event. Last year, 28 scholarships were given out to local community colleges to adults with disabilities. We are excited to offer these scholarships year after year.
The Goodwill Industries Scholarship helped me in so many ways, because with me not being in school and then having to jump into the college and that, whereas the young people, they slide right into the college, where things have changed over the years, so it made it more extremely hard for me to slip in. And with me being such hearing impaired, and that I have to read lips in order to follow what's going on, that in itself made it hard. But the Goodwill Industries helped me with that, because they gave me a very generous amount of money, and I send them updated letters every so often, just to let them know that their money was used in a good way, instead of just being wasted. I greatly appreciate all the help they've given me. I couldn't ask for a better foundation to help me. I'm going to school to be a parole officer, and I would like to be able to find a job in the location where I live at, so that I do not have to relocate. Because I would like to help people that have been less fortunate in their lives, because of the way that either they were brought up, or the location where they lived was not gang related, or there was too many drugs, or they just walked into a situation that there was no way out of without going into the bad aspects of criminal activity, and then being put in prison.
I'm Rich Janicki, store manager here in Freeport. The participants here at the store, for many of them, this is the first job they've had and the opportunity to get out in the work world, and doing it with Goodwill has been a real pleasure. Participants here at the Freeport store, they have a job coach that does hands-on training with them. She has taught them the tasks they needed here, which is basically sorting, tagging, and hanging clothes in my processing area. They then move the clothes to the sales floor, where they work with my individual store employees, hanging them in the correct areas of the store. On Fridays, they will also work on the sales floor with my employees, where they will remove clothes that have been on the sales floor for 4 weeks. This is called the reject method. Pretty much all the participants have learned several different tasks here, and it's just been a blessing and a great joy to have them around and work in the store.
Well, I went through a work program. We had a interview, Yep, and I got a shirt, and we work on Wednesday and Monday. Yep, and we get very good money. The people are very friendly. Very friendly. Yep, and they are very nice and kind.
I sort through clothes. I put them on. I sometimes put them on the hanger and put them on the racks in the store so people can buy them. I go through stuff to make sure they're okay. My other favorite job was in the dish room, but here I'm learning more skills.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Well, hopefully that kind of brings it home as to why I love my job and what we mean to a lot of people that otherwise couldn't experience the dignity of work. So I'll be glad to try to answer any questions you might have. Thank you for being a really good audience, and we'll open it up to questions.